When my womb was not my own, a story of surrogacy, altered cycles, and remembering the womb as a portal of creation. Before I had my kids, I received the news that my husband's aunt had suffered another miscarriage after years of trying and going through IVF. My immediate thought was, maybe I can carry her baby for her as a surrogate. As it turned out, it wasn't a miscarriage after all, and she went on to deliver a beautiful baby. But in the despair I felt in those moments, empathizing with this family member who so desperately wanted a child and was staring at the possibility that she never would, stayed with me. That feeling turned into gratitude as I went on to conceive and carry my own 2 children with ease. And then in my 30s, when I was certain I was done having babies of my own, the feeling returned. I couldn't shake the sense that I would be pregnant again, but not for myself. This time, the impulse was different. I began researching what it would mean to become a gestational surrogate. The research turned into what felt like a calling. I signed on with an agency and embarked on my first journey to attempt to carry another couple's baby. Over the course of 2 years, I attempted 3 times with 3 separate embryos. And thinking back on that time, I marvel at how detached I felt from a process that was so intimate. Another couple's fertilized embryo was placed into my thickened uterine lining, yet none of them implanted. From the very beginning of each journey, I was forced to detach from my body. Even in the preparation stages, my body no longer felt like mine. During the first attempt, the doctors gave me a drug meant to induce a state of medical menopause so they could fully control my cycle. My reaction was severe, to say the least. I don't remember much, but I know I cried for days on end. I was unrecognizable to myself, plunged into a darkness I have thankfully not experienced before or since. Sometimes I wonder if real menopause will stir that darkness again, but I believe the gradual decline of hormones will feel very different from the overnight shutdown. The experience was so destabilizing that before I agreed a second attempt, I insisted the doctors find a way to proceed without that drug. Detachment was also necessary when it came time to administer the progesterone shots. The injections themselves didn't bother me much, but the aftermath did. Long needles piercing my flesh left raised, hot hematomas that lingered painfully for weeks. Eventually, I learned there was a vaginal suppository alternative, far more humane for my body. By the time it came to test whether an embryo had implanted, I felt little anticipation. Deep down, I already knew. With both my pregnancies with my children, I had felt an immediate energetic shift at implantation. I just knew. Even though these embryos didn't share my DNA, I believed the spark would have been there had they taken root. I didn't blame myself for the failures. I didn't feel much of anything, in truth. I knew the statistics. The success rate hovers around 50%, even when all conditions are perfect. Through all of this, I came to understand the womb differently. She's not only the cradle of human life, but the vessel of creation itself. Her rhythm is ancient, cyclical, and deeply attuned to the wisdom of the body. When that rhythm is altered through powerful drugs, invasive protocols, or the suppression of her natural cycles, something essential is disrupted. In my case, my body felt hijacked. My natural tides were muted, my hormones manipulated, my sense of self shaken. The womb that once felt like a sanctuary of life became a site of clinical control. There's a cost when we forget the womb's wisdom. For me, that cost was detachment, physical pain, and a temporary darkness that frightened me. The message my body gave me, loud and undeniable, was that the womb does not want to be commanded. She wants to be honored. Aligned with her natural rhythm, the womb reveals herself as a teacher and an oracle, a wellspring of intuition and a gateway between the seen and unseen. She is a spiritual portal. When I look back now, I see those years as kind of initiation, not into motherhood, which I had already experienced, but into surrender. I was asked to step into something larger than myself, to become a vessel of possibility, and to release the outcome again and again. My higher self reminds me that no effort in love is wasted. Even though no baby came from my womb for those families, something was still carried. Their hope, my willingness, the sacred act of opening myself to the unknown. That matters. The lesson I continue to integrate is that offering ourselves, our bodies, our energy, our devotion does not always create the result we imagined, but it always changes us. It reshapes our relationship with control, with gratitude, with surrender. The truth is, I didn't fail. I answered a call, and that calling was its own sacred path. In the vastness of it all, I think of Aditi, the ancient Vedic goddess, the infinite mother, the cosmic womb from which all creation is born. She is boundlessness itself, the space in which all possibilities are held. To call on Aditi is to remember that even when life does not take root in the physical womb, creation is still happening. Every offering, every attempt, every act of devotion is folded back into her limitless expanse. In her embrace, nothing is wasted, Nothing is lost, only transformed.